welcome back to what I believe is the 6th episode of Campfires and Escalations.
Episode 6.
We
Nice
always
hype.
do harmonies. Have to break it up.
You have to. Wait, is that a thing we're doing now?
I mean, it's in every episode so far. Yeah, we just start with like episode 6.
I mean, maybe by
whatever.
like the end of this, we're like a full-on like
I
voice
don't know.
choir.
Oh God.
I should hope
Which
not.
would raise a lot of questions for me, but you know.
Episode 50 will be entirely in acapella.
I
Please
really,
no.
really
Please no.
hope not. I'm not ready for those sound effects.
No.
I call beatboxer.
Please no.
I called it, asshole.
Look, I'm just trying to be supportive.
All right, let's get back on track for fuck's sake.
What track?
Alright, so last we left off in what I believe was episode 5. Yes, I'm bad at math. Our party had just finished their harrowing battle with the spider from the Feywild known as Arachnus.
Oh, that's right. I'm at 2 HP.
I am at 12, but now my max is 21. So
Much better.
Yeah.
happy about that.
Starting this episode, we're at level 3.
Woo!
Yep. Killing a giant fey spider will do that for you.
On a good day, anyway.
Yeah. So, in our harrowing tale, Mara, I think you were the least wounded of everyone.
I have 13 hit points. Yes.
You have one more than I do.
You have 10 more than me. 11.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I was snacked on.
Yeah.
Boy, you
For
look
a
like
quick
a
minute.
snack.
Yeah, we
You look like a fine
we
snack.
already made that joke.
I don't remember.
I do.
It was a while ago.
Our party, having been fairly winded, gathers themselves in a grove that is slowly clearing itself. As sunlight slowly begins to trickle down from the fringes in the grove, those paying attention less to their wounds and more their environment see that the web itself is slowly dissipating, much like Arachnus' form had. This leading to a certain peace falling on the entirety of the grove.
I'm gonna take a minute, look around, look at these two. Are there bodies hanging up from the trees by webbings?
They are, and the webbings are slowly starting to dissipate.
Oh, it's gonna be raining bodies here.
Yeah,
It's
we're-
raining, man.
Literally.
We should check those
Please no.
for either spiders that are either survivors or anyone she laid eggs in.
Not the last one. That's not our problem. That's out of character, but that's not our problem.
This game was-
Alright.
If there's a body full of eggs here, it's gonna be our problem real quick.
Alright.
I recommend resolving it with fire and brimstone.
These are valuable trees. I don't think that would actually be a good idea.
Oh yeah, you're right. Shit.
The money.
We could just leave. That is a thing we can do.
We did it for, in fact, the money. Come on, the money. If you're gonna make bad music jokes, so am I. So let's roll our way out of here.
Oh, strong start to episode 6. Everybody. Strong start.
Tune in for another 40 minutes when we start singing Smash Mouth.
Please, no. We have to get past that.
Please just smash me in the mouth when we get there.
God. There is no solace.
No.
Does not exist.
Alright. But as Skamos is pondering and sharing his concerns in regards to the many bodies that will soon be falling, as you see the many threads wrapped around these, what you assume were people, they slowly begin to descend from the canopy until the heads of these cocooned masses touches ground and then slowly drops them as the last of the webbings that were connecting them to the canopy dissipate.
I step out of the clearing because one of the things caught in that web was my spear.
Ice spear now.
Skamos is just gonna skirt around any of the bodies that start dropping.
All right. There are actually quite a few, no less than 12, by your quick count. The spear that had belonged to Vellum was given to Mara. Slowly begins to become undone before actually just falling loose and clattering to the ground.
Okay.
Got your spear back.
I'm gonna walk up and touch it with the left hand, and as I pick it up and the ring makes contact with the spear, it will vanish in my hand.
Oh.
Oh, that was new.
That's never happened before.
That was new. You good there? Is there a spear in your arm now?
I should hope not. That sounds incredibly painful.
I didn't make much use of it.
Are you in incredible pain?
No? No, I'm not.
Then I say we go with it.
All right. This will
Can
be
you
this
bring
will be
it
a
back
problem
out?
for later. I can try. I don't know. I think I try the same somatic and verbal components that I usually do with most of my casting, in which I breathe on the ring, hold out my hand, and as I do so, in a flash of white moonlight, the spear reappears in my hand.
Oh, good job. Blah, blah, blah. That was terrible. Good golly goodness.
In
There
the
it
same
is.
form, but bearing the same white moonlight to it.
It has a certain glow about it.
Okay.
I'd say that's yours again.
Yeah.
I should assume so. Oh,
We'll get you a spear in town.
I'm not very trained.
I think Mara's more prone to her equipment as it is. Now, what are the stats on that?
Spears do a d6 or a d8. They're
It's a
versatile.
it's a D6 of Pearson. You can see because I erased it from last time because I thought I lost the spear. The one and only use.
Yep.
I remember it was a 1.
What was the range on it?
I think 30? Maybe 20?
30 to 60, I think.
Okay.
Oh, Jess has got the book.
It doesn't say.
Doesn't say. It doesn't say the range on a spear.
Thrown 20 to 60.
20 to 60.
Oh.
Okay.
So you can throw it within 20. Anything past that up to 60 is at disadvantage.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
I understand that. That's something they don't really explain too well in the book. Or, like, not so openly.
It's somewhere in there. I don't know exactly where.
Yeah, that's common. Things like that. Let's move on.
Yeah, I'll start checking out the bodies, seeing if any are alive or obviously filled with eggs.
All right, you're checking the bodies for eggs.
Eggs or a pulse.
Okay, I'm assuming pulse first.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and
Don't
roll.
commit surgery and then check for a pulse.
That might not go over as
yeah,
well.
That's.
Also, I love the term commit surgery.
I mean,
What kind of check?
do you have medicine?
Brothers.
I'm not
we have
trained.
eggs.
I'm definitely
Well-
not good at it.
Intelligence, I suppose.
I can do
Because asking you to roll wisdom would be cruel.
that. 6.
You don't check. You don't. You
Who
don't
here
see
has
it.
the
You don't
highest
feel a
wisdom?
pulse.
Jess,
Probably
what is your
dead.
wisdom?
My wisdom is a +1. It's 12 overall.
Probably dead.
Okay, I have the highest wisdom here for some reason.
All right, Skamos is just
Probably
running around in the
13.
background checking the
Don't
pulse
got me
of
wise,
bodies.
told no wit nobody.
I could make a joke here. I really could.
Do it.
I'm not going to.
I'd have to edit it, wouldn't I?
Yes, you would.
Bitch.
Leave it at that. Do a wisdom check.
Okay. I'm gonna make a medicine check.
Yeah. And you're searching for eggs and pulses as well?
Yes.
Are you searching for any pulsing eggs?
No.
Alright.
Sounds terrible.
Just double checking.
16.
Not bad. I thought you had medicine.
Nope.
Oh. Okay.
No one has medicine.
Nobody has medicine.
Alright. Well, you go around checking all the
Need a
bodies
player.
that Skamos says he already checked and that you don't need to bother with. And you've noticed a very diminished pulse from several of them, but most of them are long dead. The bodies are absolutely cold. Like, there's absolutely no life within most of these.
I take out a piece of chalk and I mark the ones that are dead with an X on the chest.
Alright.
And then to all of the ones that are alive, I mark with a circle.
Alright.
These ones are alive.
Moving through, Skamos' Val has highlighted all of them.
You
see
should be
3.
doing this, not me.
You see 3 with the mark of life on them.
Do you want me to recheck the ones that you were inspecting?
I mean, you already did. Let's just get these people
Okay.
back to town.
All right.
Or the logging camp, anyway. Whether or not they end up back in town will be their problem.
I will attempt to assist you in carrying these bodies. I say to Mara, as I have the second highest strength at 11.
9.
I don't need you hurting yourselves. She just goes over to the living bodies.
I'm at least above average. He's below average.
Mara, it takes some doing, but you can carry 2 of these.
Yeah, I'll just carry the one.
Now help Mara carry her other stuff.
I mean, she can do it. The only difficulty is because she's, like, picking one person up under each arm.
You could help me carry the one body that I'm probably struggling with.
Okay,
Val's having a little bit of issue. She's kind of just dragging it by the boots.
I'll pick up the boots.
Okay, I'll get the front half.
All 3 male, short cropped hair. They seem to have some sort of uniform for the loggers. The same general outfits, a few personalized designs, but aside from the big circle of chalk on their chest, not much else is catching your attention.
Other than the fact that they look very dead.
Oh yeah, they are limp linguini. They are absolutely, like, on death's doorstep.
I don't suppose you have any
I used everything.
crap. Well, let's hurry then.
All right. As you 3 begin to shuffle out with the 3 bodies in tow, after having walked some distance and out of the thickest portions of that grove, you're actually catching enough light so that when you're jostling the bodies and carrying them, you see sickly, wet wound marks in sets of 2, side by side. Several of these bodies have been punctured multiple times, and it seems like Arachnis was going out of her way to keep them alive just long enough to get another few bites in.
Everything needs to eat, I guess.
I don't like spiders now.
You liked them before.
I dislike them.
I can't really say I like spiders as drow, because that has connotations.
That has a lot of racial implications, and I understand.
So I will say I don't have a problem with them, but I also have no affinity towards them.
That is a good call.
Val, towing the line.
In
Val.
character.
Correct.
Val, trying to make sure people aren't racist towards her.
A new book by Val. PC in the Middle Ages.
Oh no.
Oh lord.
Oh dear.
In before, Val is just Mary Shelley.
Alright.
That's a historical joke. I'm proud of that one.
Good on you.
You lot continue actually breaking out of the thicket, and you see as soon as you're in the clearing, well away from the actual spiderweb, the large, swirly, burly man with a half-moon tattoo on his shoulder, and he has a absolutely bewildered look on his face, seeing all three of you return, no less carrying three of his workers.
That's right. We lived.
He
Just
quickly
barely.
moves from his crossed-armed
Yeah.
Well, in your
expression
case,
to
just barely.
one on his head and one just trying to point towards you as if to help comprehend the fact that you lot have actually come back with survivors. You live.
These three are in very critical condition. If we could get them
Yes.
medical attention
Yes.
as quickly as possible.
And he waves you down. He picks up one of the bodies from Mara and rushes the lot of you to the camp.
As, us two carrying this guy like when you're like holding your little cousin by the arms and legs and you're gonna throw him at the couch. Just like you in the back and me in the front going hut 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 hut.
Skamos is currently in a limp sprint. If that makes any sense. Yeah, lots of those sounds. Lots of those sounds at 2 HP.
That's a lot of whimpering.
I am a frail man. A beautiful frail man.
All right. You all get to camp fairly quickly.
Made
It
of
doesn't
twigs
take
and
much
not
more
very
than
clever.
20 minutes to actually get across the open field. Several of the trees that were being worked on in the morning when you left have already been felled, and most of the workers have already moved on to their second set of trees, likely putting in work before they have to start off on the same tree tomorrow. But as Mara and the foreman are charging into the camp, everybody sees him raise a hand as he starts screaming in that tongue that you're very unfamiliar with. And they split the gate, allowing you entrance, and they already have sick beds prepared.
Alright, load him up.
All right.
Down they go.
You see a man that looks like a cook with a small toolkit at his side, and he's desperately trying to get a grasp on the situation that they're all in. He looks up at you and just, none of you know healing magic, right?
We have a friend who does, but they're currently in jail.
Oh. Well, alright, then that won't help us one bit. And none of you are trained in medicine?
Hashtag free swigs. No. No, unfortunately, no. Only our friend.
I do have some healing magics, but I am tapped.
Spent
for the
those
day.
fighting the spider.
Spider.
Yes, Fey spider, actually.
You see the
Big.
foreman
Pretty big.
absolutely pale of face, and he's just looming over the lot of you, eager for details.
Very large, very hungry. She's got a massage where she
It
got
was
bit.
talking. That was the concerning part.
Oh yeah.
Talking,
don't-
making threats.
Me name of correctness.
The foreman takes a step back after getting barraged with the details he clearly wasn't ready for. Raises a pair of hands as if asking the lot of you to stop, and he turns around with a very blank expression on his face, and you see him actually head over to a small cabin apart from all of the workers' tents. The man looked absolutely disheartened. The impromptu medic starts snapping his fingers to get everyone's attention again. It's just, okay. Is there any way that you could help me here? I know that your friend is in prison. I get that. We can't help that right now. Do any of you know anything I should be doing for these lot?
The beast was poisonous.
Poison?
Yes.
I can
Well, it
I
hasn't
can-
killed them yet, so it's likely to fade, but
try something, I suppose.
It was.
We did start at level 3. Do I
the-
have all
the-
my spell slots for that?
not all of your spell slots, no. You haven't rested.
Do I have the new ones I gained at level 3?
You would.
Alright, so that means That means I have 3 spells.
Technicality.
The dead bodies that we found were feasted on multiple times. I feel like these people are rather drained.
Understood. If it's a weak and weary man, we can take care of that. But if they end up needing much more medical attention, unfortunately, we may lose them.
Skamos puts down his stuff, lifts the fiddle, not really thinking he can do anything, but he tries and casts Cure Wounds on the first one. And I have enough spell slots for 1 first level Cure Wounds and 2 second level.
So you gain 3 spell slots, moving up to level 3.
Yeah, at level 3, I get another first level spell slot and 2 2-level spell slots.
Okay, and that's not spells per day. That's literally just each one of those is another spell slot.
Yep.
Bards are dope.
Bards are dope!
I just gain like an additional spell and access to second level spells. I still only have 2 spell slots.
Okay, so the first man, whoever he be, lucky him, gets 11 hit points.
Oh, you see what had originally looked like the pretty good imitation of a corpse jolt to life, and it is gasping for air, just and it's barely like kicking up off the table, but this man is, as far as you can tell, perfectly fine at this point, aside from the, big bleeding scar.
We all walk around with those.
I didn't think that would work.
The doctor's just holding the shoulder of another one, and he's just looking at you, waiting.
I do it again.
Alright.
Alright, this guy. 12 hit points on that one for a second level Cure Wounds.
And much like the second set, this man who had received multiple bites very quickly tilts his head off of the sickbed and begins to vomit profusely. You see green ichor in addition to the bile and many stomach acids that he is letting up.
Undeterred, if a little grossed out, my last spell slot for the day. We're gonna have to sleep here in town. We need to sleep here in town. That lucky son of a gun is getting 18.
Alright, and you see this last man's entire body spasm, his chest shooting up higher than any other portion of it, before it slams back down into the medbay, and he looks like he just woke up from a dream. A nightmare. And he is looking around wildly. The man is very quickly consoled by the impromptu medic, but all 3 of these men, as far as you can tell, have been put back to their peak conditions.
Healing through the power of music.
Skamos for me!
Oh no.
Said all
At that point,
If
he
you guys
hits
try to
one
turn
knee,
this into a musical,
and-
I'm not participating. I hope you know this.
I've been a musical, son.
One-man musical. You don't
Where's
even
your
need
fiddle?
a pan.
Where's your physical fiddle?
At home.
Mara's more of a spoken word person than actual musical.
Some Def Jam shit going on here.
But at that point, Skamos hits a knee. Now I'm out. That's all I got. That's everything.
The medic looks up for just a second, taking a fresh washcloth and applying it to the forehead of the one man he's attending. He looks back at you and he says, "This is more than enough. Please, by all means, second helpings are on me. Stay the night, stay the week, I don't give a damn. You've just saved 3 men's lives."
I'll help you to the food table.
Thank you. I put the fiddle away as carefully as I can, close it up, and let Val help me as much as they will.
Yeah, Mara's just limping to the food line.
Alright. The same gruel as before, fairly plain.
I chop up some of the peppers.
Oh, that's right.
You and your peppers.
This is literal gruel. I'm at least gonna have spicy gruel.
It
Ooh.
does add a decent flavor. Very, very spicy. It's close to meaty without the texture.
It's like trying to eat. I don't know. It's spicy gruel.
Yeah.
It tastes like nothing in heat.
This is what we give men when they break their jaws.
I checked my jaw. It might have been broken. I don't know.
You never
got
fell
fucked
on
up.
it.
Can you
got
talk?
punctured, I believe.
Well, yeah, for now.
Your jaw's not broken.
Cool.
Scamos can always talk.
Yeah, tell that. You can tell the spider that too.
It was a blissful 5 minutes.
I'd rather not see that spider again, thank you.
Same. Hopefully she doesn't come back for.
So
at
don't
least
put that juju on me.
Hopefully she doesn't come back for a couple hundred years.
Can hope.
I'd hope it's longer than that.
Same, but who knows? Spicy glue.
I hope
So
it'll be
everyone's-
sometime past my lifetime.
Everyone's just enjoying their meal, I take it.
Yeah.
All right.
Enjoying is a strong word, but
You have your downtime. How do you spend it?
Are we still just sort of sticking here to the logging camp?
It's the
can't
only
get
real
back
space
down.
available to you aside from the logging field.
Okay.
You could go back to the sacred grove, but if you didn't have a purpose for doing so,
Yeah.
they bodies in them woods.
there are bodies. It's a bit morbid. But if that's your shtick,
I will tell the logging chief about the bodies in the grove.
Make sure you tell him
Alright.
I was the one who marked them.
Yeah, of course.
I don't want him thinking it was some kind of weird murder or something like that.
It was a weird murderer. It was a giant face spider.
You know what I
Blatant
mean.
murder. Sentient
not-
creature. Death.
Never mind.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm pulling your leg. I'll stop.
You're all the way over there.
Oh, wow, this place is back.
oh boy.
But yeah, I'll tell the logging chief that we checked the bodies and that there are many dead in the grove.
All right. You head towards the cabin in which he was quick to retreat to, and you find the door ajar, and there's a small pile of papers scattered about the floor, and he is poring over what seems like several books and manuscripts that have been splayed out on the desk. He barely notices you as you come in. His head darts up a few times, almost fixated, consumed by what he's looking at on the table, before he finally greets you, puts up a hand to acknowledge you, and says, 1 minute.
Okay, and I'll wait.
He closes
I'll
all
probably
the
sit
books.
down, but I'll wait.
Yeah, he closes all the books, journals, quickly takes the loose papers and throws them in a drawer in the desk before he plants both hands firmly to the desk and looks straight at you. You need?
Yes. We found 3 of your men still alive in the spider's web. We found many more of your dead. They are
How
still
many were
in
there?
the grove.
I marked all of them, so.
I don't remember how many dead bodies did we find?
How many did I mark?
Around 11.
11.
There are 11 more of your men marked dead in the grove. We cannot bring back everyone, not in one trip.
But the bodies are there.
I barely made it here myself.
He gives a small dismissive nod, following with his signature hand motions. Never stops with this guy. Talks with his hands practically. He says,
Italian.
or something.
One of my
Says,
supervisors does that.
is
something.
he's okay. Could have been worse. And he looks absolutely haggard. Whatever it was that he is pouring over was not easing this man's conscience.
Is there something more pressing on your mind?
When did you guys get here?
We're outside. We're like
Oh, what?
around the campfire.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't follow the bard everywhere,
Oh,
even
fuck.
though
You
we
totally could.
even though the bard definitely needs an
Cut
escort.
it out. Christ. I thought we were a team.
No, if you wanted to step in. With
Oh,
the
no,
bard,
I'm
you
at
could
the
do that.
campfire. I'm not there.
We are a team with musical accompaniment.
Oh, no.
No, let's do
Send her.
I'm
Let's
joking.
be
Right here.
consistent. about it.
Right here.
That wasn't in character.
Or was it?
Hurt me. It hurt me, Tyler.
That is because
Oh,
you are a fragile marshmallow.
Yeah, that's fair. But I'm glad you were able to take care of this for you. I would hate for you to have to lose more men to that thing. It shouldn't be back for some
Do
time,
not swat the mic.
but it is a creature of the Fae, and therefore not
It was
mortal.
banished.
Yes. You should take measures, prevent its return.
He has a very solemn look on his face as he no longer meets your eyes, and his gaze drifts to the ground. He says, "I know."
Could I roll Arcana to see what kind of preventive measures they could take? Like,
You could.
that is a 14.
They could salt everything.
But that would ruin the crops.
It would.
They could salt their camp. And that, at the very least, would be something they can do. Alright. Salt keeps them away.
Like,
Don't put it near the base of the trees, but you can at least put it around your camp.
he raises another hand and says, Look. He picks up one of the journals off of the table, and he takes another hand, placing it on your shoulder, and walks you out to one of the walls. As you get closer, you see towards the base of the wall, there's a small mound. Looks like it had been dug recently. And as he, with his bare hand, begins to dig at this mound, he reveals what looks like this wide cylindrical pouch. And as he pulls it open, it's full of salt.
Oh. These guys just have a trench of salt all around their camp.
No. Lines? No. Big pouch? Yes. Drives it back.
Oh.
Always has. This was new.
Alright, well. I just thought you should know. That's what I know. I pat him on the shoulder, not nearly as heavily as he could pat mine.
Yeah.
Good luck. And I'm gonna go to the tent we were allowed to sleep in the other night and get a short rest, because I'm still at 2 HP.
Before you can walk away, he takes the journal that was in his hand, presses it to your chest, and leaves it there until you grab it. You take this to merchant.
Oh, yeah, sure. Sure, we can do that for you.
And he gives you some time before he walks away from the mound as well.
I'm gonna go to the tent.
Alright.
Try and fix myself.
Alright, and sure enough, there is the same bed waiting for you. The people seem to be doing what they can to make sure that they're not disturbing any of you, as they are still halfway through their workday. You lot had managed to clear out the Sacred Grove in a very short amount of time.
Alright. I'll be taking a short rest, so you guys have an hour Skamos free. Do what you will with this precious time.
I'm going to.
So, Oh wow, I get 6 for my Song of Rest. Dope. That's 4, so that takes me to 10. I'm almost there. Alright. After the short rest, I'll be at full.
Wait, isn't Song of Rest supposed to be for like the party?
Yeah, it's anyone who's taking the short rest.
Yeah, I'll take the short rest to meditate.
Alright, then you get 6.
Plus,
Plus nothing. You just get 6 in addition to whatever you would want to roll for your short rest.
I'll take the short rest. Screw it.
Alright, so we're all chilling in the tent. This Gamos is playing a lovely tune.
So it's just 6.
Yeah, you guys get 6 from me, and you can roll your hit dice if you're not at full yet.
well, that 6 puts me at 18 out of 21, so I think I'll be good for now.
Must be a 19 out of 20. So
You guys don't have to use hit dice.
Yeah,
Screw it.
always a good feeling.
Alright. The day begins to pass, the sun begins to fade. And as you see, in the twilight, you all emerge from your short rest. There is enough light to make it down the trail.
Okay. We should get back to the town proper.
Mm-hmm.
We have... Swigs is still in the cell.
We're going to take that book to the merchant. We're going to collect swigs, and we're going to leave this place.
Should we leave tonight? I mean, I don't know. I know Mara is fine, because Mara's Mara, and she's a badass, but...
she doesn't really know what to make of this, but she's just taking the price.
I don't want to
But
stay in this
I am
place.
out of magic. I am...
Where is the old man?
I am useless.
Oh, he's still been, like, working off the ear of any, like, labor he can.
Yeah.
Oh.
He promised he wouldn't leave the camp. I wasn't worried about
I
that.
mean, what time of day is it again?
You're in the last few hours of daylight. Like, the twilight has already hit the plateau.
Did we already
I mean-
pay for a...
The rooms are paid for. We have them as long as we need them.
Okay, well,
We
let's...
leave in the morning. If you're
Fine.
fine keeping Swigs in prison one more night.
I can go and keep her company.
Suit yourself.
Okay. You go to the inn, Mara, check out our rooms, make sure that's okay. You go make sure Swigs is alright, and I'll go talk to the merchant.
Alright.
Splitting the party. Who's taking the old man?
Old man goes with...
I would say Mara, like me.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say the
Random
same
third person talk.
thing. Alright.
I got hit in the head. Now I'm Mara.
Alright. So, Mara, you are gathering the old man?
Oh yeah, he's not wandering anywhere.
No. No. Not under the strict eye of Mara.
Not again.
Okay. So you find him just pestering this poor sod who's trying to eat his dinner. And he looks up, expecting what comes next, and he begins stowing his quill and ink and most of his books.
Well, thank you for not making me have to tell you.
Well, I'm well aware of how much I believe I put you through, but I'll be honest, I'm not sure what happened. Would you like to inform me?
Save something for the road back down.
Fair enough. I've always appreciated a tale whilst walking. He stows the last of his books before grabbing his cane and setting to follow your pace.
Alright. Assuming we're all hanging down together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Val was going to go for Swigs. Skamos was going to...
I'm going to talk to the merchant.
Alright,
but-
Skamos is going for the merchant.
As we're walking down the trail, I'm telling the old man everything that happened. Exaggerated a little bit and pushing forward their efforts.
Okay. Their efforts being...
With Mara and Val.
Alright.
Like, Skamos kind of defaults to bard mode and just starts telling an epic tale about two heroes and Skamos, who conquered...
And the spear went sailing right by my eyes!
Right by my eyes!
You think she'd be accurate? She's not.
Alright. You go
A
ahead.
clever move to distract the spider from their true intention. The whip. That
never
whip.
see the whip coming. The Man in Rags listens with a good measure of focus. He's clearly not blowing you off, as he is actually writing down to the word just about everything you're saying. You can already see that he is cutting out some of your embellishments
Yeah.
and some of your facts that stray too far from what he would assume would be reality.
Skamos' story is accurate if embellished.
Mm-hmm. But like the part where you got dragged up, and the part where Mara was tied up the entire time.
Not the entire time. I had to miss a spear throw.
For a good, dangerous 18 seconds.
Yes.
Yeah.
A goodly, dangerous 18 whole seconds.
And for 6 of those, I believe she was covered in spiders.
We don't go there. I still haven't checked my hair for the spiders. You checked the bodies.
With a mention
friends.
of the
You
swarm.
never checked me.
Oh no!
And before Mara's just gonna be shitting spiders when we get to the end.
Oh, let's hope not. Let us hope
Can that be
not.
my cantrip?
No.
Oh, shit spiders.
Like the mummy.
I wanted to be a battle master, but
Oh, the mummy would have been so much worse if he shat spiders.
No.
spiders and spit scarabs.
Just
let's go.
slop squat down and then just a spray of like a swarm of spiders and scarabees.
This is some incredibly violent imagery. Let's move on.
I'm going to throw up.
Alright, so
Hope it's not spiders.
the trail
Oh,
going
no.
down is surprisingly easier than
Why
the trail
couldn't it be
going
follow
up.
the butterflies?
And as you're going down, knowing where you can stand while keeping the trail firm and safe makes it much easier to go down. You actually get down just before what would be 7 p.m. Night has begun to fall, though there's this, like, the very weak afterglow of the day. So lanterns have been lit, there's plenty of light still left in the sky, and merchants, traders, and joyous travelers are filling the city yet again. The merchant is waiting with a pair of attendants at the base of the trail.
I will clap the two of them on the shoulders. I'll meet you guys at the inn, and I go to talk with the merchant.
Alright. And Mara and Val still continuing through the city, correct?
I don't suppose the merchant could get a pardon from anyone, so
Well, our current arrangement with the guard captain is we can take swigs with us when we leave.
town.
Yes. I can't work any more wiggle room into our deal with the merchant. I got you that shield.
Yeah.
Like I could try, but it wouldn't go very well, I imagine.
I'm just going to go to. I'm gonna go to the stockade.
Alright, yeah, where the
Yeah.
guard captain was. Got it. Mara,
Where the holding was, yeah.
To the inn with the old man. He ain't going nowheres.
Alright, first let's handle the merchant, and then we can handle the inn, and then we will handle the guard captain. Alright. The merchant with his two attendants at either side flags the lot of you down, with his eyes fixed on Skamos. Skamos clearly takes lead back.
I approach.
You're back! And quickly, at that?
We
He
were-
seems a little nervous.
We work efficiently, and your logging camp will be back on track within probably by morning.
Really? And that is accounting for all of the workmen?
We saved 3.
Well,
11 were found dead.
I must admit, I suppose that's better than we were expecting, but what was it you found? The book.
A woman, a spider,
A
named
Drider.
Arachnus. No, a spider from the Fae.
Huh?
the Grove is very connected to the Feywild,
Oh,
and I don't know
Have you been
what.
talking to that silly foreman?
If you can't feel it, then I can't explain it to you.
Well, I'll not
but
be going up there. It's such a dangerous place as it is. A foolish notion. I'm a merchant. I belong down here where the money's
I understand. I understand. Suffice to say that the logging camp has a connection to the Feywild, such as the deal that you have with the Fey there. Arachnis decided to cut in, but now she's gone. Gone and dead.
I'll not be having
Banished.
any dealings with that superstitious nonsense.
We
We don't need any of that in our business. But if it's gone, it's gone. So what was it? The fee was 20 for each of you, right?
35 each.
Yes. Of course you can remember that. Alright, fess it up. And he turns to one of his attendants as they produce 3 pouches from behind them.
That puts me at 93.
The attendant provides Val and Mara before they can fully walk away their pouch.
35, you said?
35.
Oh. And then 186.
Oh, and thank you so much. Before we move on to our personal business, I hand him the journal the foreman gave me.
Oh, what the hell is this? He reaches out, grabs it, cracks it open, thumbs it over a bit. It's just, I can't read any of this. The damnable foreman knows that. Why does he want me to have it?
I don't know. He simply said to give this to you.
Well, it won't do me any good, and I've not the patience to learn that archaic language. Take it.
If you give
Consider it a bonus.
What language is it in?
won't matter. Give me 10 minutes. All right. Thank you. I don't suppose you heard anything about that cittern I mentioned earlier.
Oh, yes. You wanted me to thumb over all of our transactions over the last week or so. Yes, I recall the instrument, and I have just the book I need to look over. Give me about 20 minutes, and we'll go ahead and see about the results there. No promises.
More than likely. I'll be here.
The dwarf scampers up the steps of the trade house, gives a small gesture to beckon you onto the trade floor. And he opens up a window from inside and begins to thumb over a fairly sizable book. It looks like a newly minted ledger.
All right. If this is taking 20 minutes, I'm going to pull out the fiddle and start plucking at it, and as a ritual, cast Comprehend Languages.
All right. Does it help with magic languages?
Oof, that is a good question. Let's see.
Stop! I don't want to get sued.
It's a performance. It falls in line with. I don't give a fuck at this point.
Anthony.
It's legal.
For the duration, you
Free real
focus-
estate.
I don't think it is. Nothing's entered the public domain in like 20 years. So.
No, if it's a performance, it doesn't matter.
No, you're right. I think you're right. Yeah, sure. Anyway,
Okay, moving on.
Stop.
yeah.
Pull together.
For the duration, which is an hour, you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language you hear. You also understand any written language that you see, but must be touching the surface on which the words are written. It takes about 1 minute to read 1 page of text. It doesn't decode secret messages in a text or glyph, such as an arcane sigil that isn't part of a written language. So if it's a written language, yes. If it's like the sigils for a spell, no.
Got it. So while this is a language of its own, it is different from any language that you've ever scribed. In the sense that a lot of it is in what at first seems like a code, but as you dig through, each of the words that you thought were codes simply must have meanings that you don't understand. what you do glimpse from this, in the time in which you are attempting to read it, you start at the beginning. It is the journal of the brothers Dahl and Hall. A combined works of each their own private affair in the making of their town.
Oh shit. Why do you want to give this to the merchant? Doesn't matter, mine now.
Yep. But it's a very strange language. What languages do you know?
Skamos knows Common and Infernal,
Okay.
but comprehend languages means I can read them all.
This is written in a way that is taking notes from Celestial, like borrowing words from Celestial,
Oh.
and Sylvan. And you only know that because you're catching roots.
That's a dangerous combination.
Could be.
I like it. Keep reading.
Yeah. You'll be at that for a while. But while the merchant thumbs through things, we're going to go ahead and get to Mara, who is guiding the old man to the room in the inn. She's probably going to lock him in.
Oh,
before you step away from me, I hand you my armaments. I don't want to go to the barracks armed. I think that's...
Again.
Yeah.
Fair
Little
enough.
I...
It's not exactly the understanding type.
Yeah.
He's kind of
I
a
get it.
prick.
Yeah, I get...
So I take Val's things and
Mm-hmm.
hoist them onto my back.
Alright.
It's not a lot.
Mara, the street is bustling as you're heading to the inn. The bridge that covers the wide river that this town is founded on is filled with carriages, wagons, and runaway donkeys. There are farmers, traders, and several street performers loitering about, but they're not really getting in your way. You can manage to ease through the crowd. The man in rags does what he can to follow, but you're heading straight for the inn, right?
Straight for the inn. These wily bastards getting locked up.
Alright. It only takes about 5 minutes to get in there. You pass a number of jugglers, fire breathers, a sword thrower, which is a lot less entertaining than any other, I don't know, sordid entertainment, like sparring. For you, at least. But you get to the inn. The same bashful innkeep is sitting behind the bar. And he doesn't look like he's got much to do. Though the street is rowdy, nobody's really stepped into the bar yet. The one guardsman posted inside to ensure that nothing terrible happens is half asleep in the corner. And barkeep gives you a short wave. The man in rags enters just after you. So, what's our plan?
Those two will be doing whatever. I wasn't paying attention. Whatever the hell it is they're doing. We'll be leaving in the morning, collecting the goblin and getting out.
Well, I think we're more than good on time for Longbrook, so I certainly wouldn't mind spending a good day to relax here.
We'll have a night
Wonderful.
out in the morning.
Is there a room for me?
There should be. You didn't collect a key.
No.
We had left, if I recall, we left an innkeeper message that there would be an old man in rags collecting a key, but he went to the logging camp
Yeah,
because he's a daft old coot.
No, I told him about everybody. I even said something about a child goblin thing. I didn't say goblin.
Mm-hmm.
Backing character. Yeah, there should be a room for you.
Oh.
Would have known if you had come here first.
My apologies.
It's...
Coming into town, I simply couldn't pass. The only opportunity I think I'll ever get to record the sightings of the Grove.
It wouldn't have killed you to tell me. It's, remember, my job to make sure you make it there alive.
I understand, and pardon me, please, for any misgivings that may have been set by my actions.
As long as I only have to tell you once.
He gives a polite nod before hobbling over to the innkeep. The innkeep doesn't react for a second, almost lost in thought before he pops out of his seat and hands the old man a key. He dutifully goes up to his room, content to finally spend a night in an inn. And as far as you know, he's resting peacefully.
Lock the door.
Wow.
Well, there's only one exit once you're up the stairs, right? Wherever it is his room is.
Windows.
As far as you know, you haven't been up there, so aside from the change in barkeep, if they haven't changed the structure, the only exit should be those stairs.
She's going to sit down right at the bar. That old man's not going nowheres.
Alright. The barkeep comes up. It's just, will I be putting this on Burner's tab?
No, I can handle this. She can't justify doing heavy drinking on Murder's time.
Alright.
It's like, so I see on this bill that was left to me that you charged me with 3 bottles of scotch and 8 shots of tequila. Care to
What is
explain?
this
I would like to
triple
understand.
X pay-per-view?
Oh,
And a 230 gold charge for Cherry.
Who is... her name is Cheery, first of all. And
she's a nice lady.
she lived up to the name. Thank you very much, sir.
Oh no.
Burner's staring at the bill like, there's only one E.
They're not the most literate of villages. You should work on that.
No.
Send a scholar. God bless her.
Oh, never again.
What?
Don't worry about it.
No, now we're worried. Anyway.
Alright. So, I take it you'll be ordering a few drinks.
Quite a few drinks. Do you have any food?
Oh, we have quite a bit. We've roast pheasant.
Two
That
of
sounds-
those.
Oh.
The pheasant's like that big.
I've been eating cool. I don't have peppers.
Fair enough.
It comes in and comes out the same way. No nutrients.
Oh. Oh.
So do pheasants.
It's like
the barkeep is like noticeably alarmed.
It's like
but
Gogurt
he's not
without
going
the
to
color
turn you down
change.
as soon as you show the coin.
She says, if
So
you can
glad no
spare
one
it,
caught
I
that.
won't steal someone else's meal.
It's not stealing. I'll accept the business. We don't have many more people in here. It is
That will change
vacant.
soon.
The night has only begun, and eventually the crowd will find their way here. But as to whether or not there is any pheasant waiting for them is to be determined by you, Mara.
2 pheasants.
All right.
Please don't make me roll an athletics check to see if I can eat that chick.
I won't.
that's a con check,
A
and
con
you know
check.
it.
Shush.
I can see it being
He,
athletics.
he asks you,
Hey,
There.
competitive eating.
That's not athletic.
well, you're
It's Constitution.
in for a treat. All roast pheasant is
People
the
are
best
mad.
in 3 towns. I take it you'll be wanting a drink with this?
What is... how do I put this delicately?
The strongest.
Yes.
I feel like she
what
was going to
is
go
the-
a lot less delicate than that.
Well, if you're going to be going as big, might I suggest not the strongest, but the best?
And the price differential.
Between
Well,
strongest and best.
Yes.
If you want a full tankard, it'll be 5 silver.
I got it. Yeah. Let me have it.
All right. That'll be... say, 5. Do you carry gold?
Naturally.
2 gold, 5 silver.
She just kind of chuckles. It's like, oh, they think this is expensive. And 2 gold coins and 5 silver, right?
When the fighter is like, oh, peasants. Puts coins on the fucking table.
And now I'm down to 184 gold.
And that's why.
There it is.
It was a gold a pheasant.
2 gold and
2 gold
5
pheasant.
silver is a little expensive for a night's meal and drinks, but in fairness, you're going kind of ham. Or might I
No,
say
you're going
fair?
peasant.
Yeah.
It's paltry to
wait,
her.
Excuse me. 182, and I had 5 gold.
Alright.
Come on.
Yeah, okay.
Dips back, hands off
I
in
earned
order.
a high
You
five
hear
for
some
that,
murmuring
thank
and some clamoring and a holler from the kitchen.
She is slightly surprised because this is not the first time she's done this.
It's always
I'm
good
sorry
business
how
for
much
them,
I've spiked
and
on
they
the mic.
will always
As always.
appreciate it.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so it takes them something like 30 minutes to actually get the pheasants ready. You actually saw about 10 minutes in, somebody, like, burst through the front doors as they were tying an apron to their back. They looped it over their neck, and they rushed in the kitchen.
Always nice to stimulate the economy.
Yeah, no, as soon as that order came in, they called for backup. They had 1 chef on hand.
Oh.
Oh.
2 pheasants is a little rough, yeah, that's fair.
It can be. It can be for them. They don't have, like, super nice ovens.
It's a pheasant and a fire.
It's 2 pheasants. It's 2 pheasants.
And depending on that oven, 2 fires.
Yeah,
I don't
actually,
know what it says
they had
that,
to.
like, real life me is not disturbed by this. It's not understanding why this is such a big deal. It's just 2 chickens.
You know, they weren't ready for business to kick off so soon. So
I think they were. I think you caught them at like what you would consider like
The lull.
The lull in the day.
This is the brunch hour. Most
suffice
people are just getting
to
off a
say-
cocoa toast.
Jess, a copper piece is around $1.
That's generally how those are treated.
Pheasant is typically a meal for more than one.
So,
You are carbo loading and going to get those gains if you have to kill someone to do it.
There's so much prelude to me just getting some fucking pheasant.
There is, and that is because as the barkeep pulls it out, you see a wide dinner plate with
say
a
it's not
full
paltry
bird
to
on
us.
it, splayed out, pre-cut, and garnished with at least 10 different seasonings.
How many does
The-
KFC have?
More than us. Don't worry
I
about it.
think it was like 21,
Something like that.
23,
it's 11.
11.
11 herbs and spices.
Ah,
I thought you were an American.
Yeah, don't eat at KFC.
I'm an
All right,
anarchist. Thank
but,
you.
There's a garnishment,
yeah.
several
Oh,
greens
but-
set. There's
Rabbit food.
like 4 full
Wrong
carrots
anthem.
diced
Rabbit food.
and just set about this meat. There are 6 portions on this first plate. Pre-cut, decorated. It is beautifully charred, and it looks like at some point it was like marbled.
And real life me is hungry.
Yep. No. He plops down the first pheasant, and he says, "Ma'am, the other will be out in about 10 minutes.
Very well.
Would you like your ale now?"
Please.
All right. And he turns about, and he pulls a smaller cask, one that hadn't been sitting on the shelf behind him. He lays it upright, so that it's more like a small barrel. He reaches the tap with a mallet and fills a tankard. He hands it to you, and you have a frothing mug of a pinkish ale.
Why the color?
It's export from Longbrook.
Oh.
It's damnable myrrh. He calls it his famous candied ale. Famous is in the name.
Candied.
Yes, I'm not sure as to the process. His brewery is guarded by his brother and his wife.
I wonder which is scarier.
The wife.
Yeah, definitely.
I bet she has a tongue club.
Oh no.
No,
No, that's his mother.
not the chocolate of
That's
doom.
a +5 Vorpal Chonkla, son.
Oh no! Fear!
Duck!
can
Lest
roll
you
it.
lose your head.
She can roll a 10 and you're done.
My favorite image I've ever seen on the internet is, well, that's not my favorite, but it's my favorite Infinity War meme. Was
Spoilers for Infinity War.
yeah, was Thanos, but dressed as a cholo, holding a chancla with the 5 stones in
Oh,
it.
I've never seen that. That's amazing.
The Infinity Chancla.
I'm a fan
God.
already. I need to see that edit.
That's terrible and I love it.
I love it
Go
so
back to a
much.
time when you wasn't a stupid hole.
Oh no! Where is
Oh,
that from?
that wasn't bad. Alright, moving on.
She's just gonna start eating the first pheasant.
Alright, these are hefty portions to begin with. And there are 6. This is a splayed bird. Like a whole meaty honkin' bird. And before you can finish your second helping, he comes out with the second bird. And he just lays it right next to the first, and it looks just as immaculate. It looks like they were running out of carrots, though. They replaced it with more leafy greens. You assume they're
Need more leafy greens. Don't complain about the leafy greens. They're good for your digestion.
So was that gruel?
No, it was not.
Alright, in a different way. In a purge kind of way.
She's just gonna keep trugging along with the thought like, well, if I don't finish it all, there are 2, 3 other people in my party.
True enough. Alright, so Mara is digging in and chowing down before anybody can get a hold of any of these beautiful decadent pheasants.
Hey everyone, it's Tyler again. Welcome to episode 6. Once again, I have a few announcements to make, and I'll let you get back to the show. First up, thanking our friends at battlebards.com, without whom this show wouldn't sound nearly as good as it does. They've provided all the amazing music and sound effects you've been listening to. BattleBards is an amazing resource, probably the best resource for any dungeon master looking to spice up their home game or podcast with music, sound effects, weather, hundreds of things. In fact, thousands of things. You can use the coupon code CAMPFIRE or the link in the description when you go to create your own account for a discount off BattleBards Prime. This gives you full streaming access to over 3,400 tracks. It's a ridiculous amount. You could do anything. Again, that's coupon code CAMPFIRE, one word with no spaces, or the link in the description when you make your own account. Have a question for the show or the cast of the show? Just want to troll us or send us memes? Please do so over at the Facebook page down in the description. I'm sure those of you who have been listening attentively will have noticed a change in the audio quality. That is because the first 5 episodes of the show were all recorded at a temporary location, and the episodes from this point on were recorded at a separate location. So, unfortunately, the audio will be slightly different episode to episode from this point, because we had to... It was not we could just leave our stuff there and turn it on whenever we needed to. We had to pack it all up, put it all away, and then come back a separate day. So the mic setup was slightly different every time. I hope you guys don't mind. I've tried to do what I can in post to make sure it's all smooth and as consistent as possible. But post only goes so far. Anyone in production can tell you post only goes so far. Anyway, that'll be it for now. I'll see you guys in episode 7, which should be going up on September 3rd. Later.
I believe we come to Val.
Oh boy.
Having a bit of a...
Just like standing outside of the office, just like, okay, you can do this. Don't freak out.
The gatehouse has a singular guard in front of it. He looks fairly well equipped. He looks like he started putting on some plates of armor. And he's got a spear with a short sword on his belt. He says, I see you're coming in for the
I'm here to visit. I don't want her to spend the night alone.
Will you be? Your intent is to stay the night.
Yes, if that's possible.
I think if you just take it easy on Captain Roderick, everything will go fine. You hear some commotion and a clattering. It sounds like a set of items just got thrown against maybe the floor or the wall. But there's some clanking. And he says, "All right, you might want to get in there. You're tough, right?" Like he's as he says that, you can tell just from his expression, he can't really get a read on you.
The one person in the party to ask that.
Yeah, it's just like the little drow girl. Just I managed to help with the issue and the
I'll
grove.
assume then if you don't have the strength for it, you got the wits. All right, just go on in, all right? And he pops open the door, letting you open it the rest of the way. And as you go in, you actually see the captain, whose name you now know is Roderick, standing before the door, arms crossed, and it seems he's half dressed in his armor from the waist down. He's got a workman's shirt, much like a tank top, loose canvas, and the rest of his outfit from waist down on. His coat wrapped around his waist, and he's staring down three of his men, one of them having just spilled ink, pens, and other clerical items after throwing them off of one of the desks. And one of the other men is pointing Roderick down, and he's babbling incoherently, but you can hear the fire in his voice.
As I go to speak and excuse me.
The three men break up just for a second to look behind them as the one in the center keeps their eyes focused on the captain. And one of them turns around and says, "What do you want?"
I was here to visit my friend. Is something the matter?
"Oh, your friend? Fucking drow. You're here for that damnable little thing? Are you the one that brought it in?"
Unfortunately.
God damn it. "Roderick, how could you let this happen?" He turns around, ignoring you at this point, and Roderick, arms crossed, is still staring them all down. He is stony-faced and absolutely silent.
No. This week on Val makes it worse.
If you need help, just go outside and scream Skamos.
Blow the whistle.
I don't have persuasion trained. Fuck.
You do have a lot of charisma, though.
I have 5 charisma.
Oh, you can.
What
Well,
do
I
you do?
have my charisma saving throw is 5. I have 3 charisma.
Hey, big spender.
Captain Roderick takes just a moment in between the silence as they're all staring him down, tilts his head to one side just so that he can look over their shoulders and see you. And he gives just a slight smirk, noticeable enough that you see the 3 guardsmen get a little uncomfortable. They start checking their footing. And as 2 of them look back to you to reach for their daggers, you see Roderick grab a vase of water that was on a stand next to him, smash the middleman in the face, grab one of the men on the side, slam his head into the table, and then grab the last by the neck with his free arm. He says, "You're finally back."
Yes. Is there some trouble?
"Well, not anymore, as I'm going to be writing this insubordination off as just a hazy, drunken dream, but I would very much like it if you were to get the goblin out."
Out of town or just out?
"Look, I'm not letting it out in my town. You can take it, or you can leave it here, and we can go ahead and see if I can hold off any more insubordinates."
I'll be on my way. I have to make a stop at the inn, but I'll be on my way.
All right. these maggots shouldn't try it again. And you see now that 2 of them are actually unconscious, except the one that is firmly grasped by the neck by Captain Roderick.
I'll give him a nod and say, well, thank you.
He clips the key ring off his belt and offers it to you with his opposite
I
hand.
take it lightly and make my way to the cell.
You hear a chair being dragged as you move towards the cell, and then a slam as you know he just threw the guardsman into the chair and is probably about to have words with him.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm gonna go check on Swigs.
Alright.
Hashtag free Swigs.
Finally here.
Yeah.
Alright. You hear a little bit of whimpering as you enter the cells. They're completely vacant. Nobody else has been in here. Thinking about it, it was probably a call on their part not to put anybody else in the cells, as they didn't want news of a damn goblin getting out.
Right.
But as you get to the center cell, you actually see Swigs clutching the toy soldiers with the whistle at her feet, knees to chest, and her little yellowed eyes are... You can see them very clearly in the darkness of the cell.
As my own yellow eyes glow back in hers. Swigs,
Yeah?
I'm here to get you out.
Are we leaving?
Not quite yet, but I'm getting you out of here.
Okay.
Alright.
How?
Just hold up the key.
Oh, we're not in trouble, right?
No, we're not in trouble. I was simply asked to take you and leave.
Okay. She grabs her things, tucking them as best she can in the folds of her tunic, and she, head down, arms clasped against her items and chest, walks up to the gate of the cell.
Okay. I open the gate. Alright. They don't want you to be seen. So...
Okay.
Okay, just give me a moment. I drop my bag and reach into, and I pull out my blanket, and I just hold it out for her, and I wrap her in that and pick her up.
Alright, she keeps her arms clasped tight, making sure not to lose any of the items given to her.
And just kind of hold her against my shoulder and make my way out.
Alright, she curls up just a little bit to make it easier for you to hold her. But as you exit, you see that all 3 guardsmen are now unconscious. One of them, the one that was thrown into the chair, now has a gash in their forehead. And Roderick is sitting against his table, just looking over some paperwork. So you did it. You got her out. Good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell Mara that there should be someone grouping up with a lot of you. I need to corroborate your stories with evidence. If the agent doesn't find you by next morning, assume that they'll be on the trail after you. They know your schedule, so they'll catch up eventually. They'll be there to assist you in the long term, but they are there to ensure that that thing doesn't cause any real trouble. If it doesn't, maybe we'll work something out. If it does, it will be executed.
I, blink the shine out of my eyes. I understand.
Alright.
At this
Now,
point,
get out of this guard post before any of their friends get in here.
I jog out.
And as you're, getting to the door, the one guardsman with the spear pops the door open, hearing, quickened footsteps, and he's like, sorry you had to see that.
It's fine. Glad to see someone's helping.
We try. But Roderick had some points. Please keep that in mind.
I'm sorry for the ruckus.
It really just keep it to yourself. You'll be fine.
I understand.
Go, please.
Okay, and I rush to the inn.
Yeah. He shuts the door after you're clear. And you don't catch many suspicious eyes. Anybody
Completely
leaving,
bundled.
Yeah, anybody leaving the guard captain's quarters would be a little distressed
Yeah.
after the ruckus that was being made in that place.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going
Especially
to the inn, right?
like a small woman carrying what looks like a baby,
Mhm.
Yeah.
or at the very least a small child.
At this point, Val gets a message from Skamos. Oh, don't forget to collect the bounty from the guard captain, because we wouldn't kill the spider. We were supposed to get paid for that.
You can do that. I'm a little rattled at the moment.
Oh. Alright, I'll take care of it later.
Thank you.
Anybody.
You
but
get
Mara.
swigs?
Yes, I got swigs.
Cool.
So that was 2 messages?
It's a cantrip.
Okay.
It is a cantrip.
It
Yep.
is.
It's literally a walkie-talkie.
Yeah!
Over.
Alright.
I like what critical I like what not does on critical roles. Like, you can reply to this message.
Oh yeah, it's like a phone operator. That's what I was trying to do last session, but you didn't let me. I'm sorry, but the number you are reaching can no longer be.
He's like, if I got anything back, then it's obvious.
Yeah, but it would make you pause for a second.
It did.
So I take it, Val, you're shooting straight back to the inn, right?
Yes.
And Skamos, you were taking your time because you needed to wait on this guy's report from his
Was
letter.
I already given a key?
I believe so. Did you make it to the inn in the previous episode? I thought you had.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we 3 did.
Yes, I went to
'cause
the
they-
inn,
Oh,
and then
you
I
did
went
not.
to the guard station looking for Mara.
Me, yeah.
Yup.
Aw.
Flashback.
Oh no. Yeah, it was everybody but the old man and Swigs made it.
Yeah. Yeah. So the lot of you all have your keys.
Yes.
Everyone but the NPCs were supposed to be taken care of. goddammit.
As is wont to happen when you don't actively keep an eye on them.
Oh, trinket.
Somebody wasn't drawing on the roof.
Fair enough. I'll accept blame there.
Alright, so, Mara, you are digging into your pheasant. You're losing steam. You haven't even finished the first. But you're pretty sure if you go at it for the rest of the waking night, you'll probably be able to get into the second pheasant. It might hurt, but it's a job you can get done.
At this point, have they entered the inn?
Val is coming in just now, because their whole exchange was much shorter than the 20 minutes it takes the man to go over the letter. He's also comprehending languages on,
A book.
yeah, like a book that's made of several languages.
Alright, so the both of them are.
No, just
no,
Skamos
just
is
Val.
not.
Okay.
I'm there first.
With a
Alright.
big bundle in a blanket.
She looks over and is like, alright. Oh. Oh no. So, she's had a bit of ale at this point.
Oh no.
She,
Oh, don't you
Just for one, or
dare.
did she go for more?
oh no, she went for more.
Okay, how many more? I'm curious.
Let's go.
How many tankards?
It's only
a
been
tankard
about
is like a
maybe
pint.
10-ish minutes.
Only 10-ish minutes?
I could see her getting to
That's
the
only-
end of a drink.
Yeah, that
Alright.
would be your finishing it off, maybe. When
Alright,
you're
fine,
halfway
she's
through
finishing
it.
Alright. But you're probably eyeing another. It was very smooth, subtly sweet, and just rich. It had a bitterness that came in after drinking, much like one of the more balanced candies that you've had. Like, subtle sweet into bitter. And the entire sensation was just smooth. It was very pleasurable. Much better than any of the wine that Werner's had, that's for sure.
Anywho, she just looks over and says, oh, you have our friend.
Yes.
And You'll be taking her right upstairs.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
Right this minute.
I just go. I just go. I don't say anything else. I just go. I don't ask for food. I don't do anything. I go.
Deer in the headlights, straight to booking it.
She looks over at the barkeep and just kind of picks up the second plate of pheasant. If I bring this plate back later, can I bring this upstairs?
I don't see why not. Go for it.
She's already halfway up the stairs.
Okay.
Rude.
Socially awkward party.
Yeah.
Says the bard.
If I wasn't here, things wouldn't go nearly as smooth.
Things don't go smoothly to begin with.
Right.
I think I'm getting away with this because I have the coin.
A little bit.
Yes.
Oh man.
You have station. You have charisma. I'm a drow with a goblin.
That's honestly hard mode.
It don't get much worse.
There's a reason I have 17 charisma.
It would be only harder if you were playing like a bugbear or a hobgoblin.
Oh god, a hobgoblin.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
No, imagine if I was doing this playing a half-orc.
Half-orc isn't as
Okay,
bad.
a regular orc.
Yeah, that's worse.
That's
lovely.
pretty bad. They
Yes.
tend to, most would think of them as knuckle-dragging apes. and
Pretty bad.
whatnot.
Definitely
It's just
unacceptable.
not- They're violent. They're known for being violent. They're good at being violent.
I almost can't picture that in the guys that I built for Val. That's a very different picture.
It is. That
But
is a
also,
very different
the
thing.
dichotomy there is even funnier.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
Alright, so you shoot up the stairs immediately, and Swigs didn't make any noise, which is good. You can tell by how hard she is grabbing your shoulder, she's not comfortable at all. You get into your room. It's a fairly simple thing. There is a rug, there are curtains, a simple window that gives a beautiful view to the adjacent building's wall.
Okay, are there shutters?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
there
close the shutters, the window, and the curtains.
There is a sizable enough bed, easy for you to fit yourself on, and probably Swigs as well.
Okay.
There's a small end table with a single chair, and several candles in a drawer in that table, and a small candlestick, like a stand.
Candles. Humans need those.
Generally speaking, yes.
Okay. I'm going.
I've followed them up.
Okay,
Be
okay,
clear
yeah.
about that.
You took maybe 30 seconds to just get everything on one plate and then bring it up.
Okay.
You know what room they're in, so you'll be coming in immediately after there.
I unravel Swigs and set her on her feet.
And then boom, Mara's in there.
I locked the door.
Oh.
If somebody knocks, hide behind the door.
Oh, okay.
All right, and I unlock the door and lightly crack it open. Yeah. Oh, okay. I open the door and let Mara in.
Alright, Swigs is already behind the door.
Okay.
You open the door, Mara comes in, you close
Close
it.
the door. Lock the door.
Swigs is already sitting as low as she can behind the door. Or where the door was.
This isn't some sort of trickery, right? He let you take her.
Apparently, there was some issues with his guardsman. He. What are you pointing? What are you? Okay. For fuck, just ask.
I was trying not to interrupt.
You already did.
Start over.
There was an issue with a few of his guardsmen. Apparently, they took exception to Swigs, and he knocked out all three of them.
He isn't Roderick.
Roderick.
She
Guard
sort-
Captain Roderick.
She sort of have a moment of contemplation. Something akin to regret.
Reconsidering someone's character and some probably harsh things that you said about him.
Maybe harsh. It's I may owe him an apology. In any case, the two of you eaten. She looks over at the giant plate of pheasant. made a mistake.
I can explain. I have not eaten. Thank you.
She sits it down. There's a desk. Or something.
Yeah. There's the end table, and it can fit the plate.
I pull the chair out for Swigs and like cut half off for her.
Oh, they're already set into 6 portions. You just need to pull one.
Oh, yeah. I just spread it into 2 sides.
Just motions and swigs. Come on.
Swigs stands up, just hands propping her up before she takes a few steps forward, hands clasped one another, and she just says, "I get to have some?
You get to have your own.
My own? That's
Dinner time. Get on the chair.
Okay." And she takes a second to just crawl her way up to the end table, and then she props herself off the table and the chair before she can sit comfortably on it, feet swinging idly by. And she just reaches out to one of the pieces. And
I hand her a fork.
She just sort of holds
with my
it.
own food, mouth.
Come to think of it, I don't know how goblins eat.
But it's sharp.
I just look at it. It's just like flat, square ends.
And she pokes at one of the pieces just hard enough to get it to stick on the fork, and she brings the entire piece up to her face and slowly begins to like bite at it, gnaw at it from there.
I mean, some people actually eat like that. I eat like that in real life.
Oh. You just face
Swallow.
the food.
Then speak, please.
She like rips it off, a big hunk of meat going with it, just hanging out of her mouth. And she reaches up, grabs it, rips it off, and just one hand filled with the chunk of meat and the other with the fork with the rest of it on it. She's just chewing. It's good.
Goblins aren't like gremlins, right?
Okay, go over etiquette some other time. Right now, I'll let you enjoy your dinner.
And it is a little disturbing because every now and then you could swear she's going feral because she just sort of rips at it with her like whole neck motion. Like the entire head moves to complete the motion.
Like a crocodile.
Something like it. All she's missing is the spinning bit. But she tears apart piece by piece any of the meat that you let her have.
I set aside half the plate for her.
All right, she goes at all 3 portions, but she has to stop herself halfway through the last one because she physically cannot eat it.
Okay, don't hurt yourself. You don't
She is
need
like
to take all
picking at it, and just strips of like chicken are coming off of it, and she's just like slowly like shoving it into the sides of her mouth,
Yeah,
and
what-
she's
what
just
are you-
chewing at it.
What are you doing?
Food.
You're
A
not-
lot.
You don't have to eat all of it.
Huh? But I. Uh-huh.
If you can't finish it, that's okay.
She stops with like a wad of the meat that she'd picked off the pheasant. She's just sort of like her chin is resting on the table. She's hit a food coma, but she's looking at you and she's just bewildered. Just, when will you get more?
Tomorrow morning.
How?
The same way we always do. We usually pay for it or we make it ourselves.
When do we get the bird?
We paid for the bird.
How do,
I paid for the bird.
where did they get the bird?
I don't know. They bought it from someone else.
And how are we gonna get more?
Well, next time it'll be something other than bird. If you have bird every day, you're gonna get sick of it.
But I like the bird.
Well, we'll have bird some other time.
Okay.
I'm starting to rethink this free swig thing.
Don't you dare!
Are you thinking of sending Swigs to like some school with some angry old lady that's like just really anal about etiquette?
She just asked where birds come from. I'm getting a little concerned.
She lived in a cave, to be honest.
Well, she doesn't know how you're gonna get marbled like this. Yeah. That is just about the time that we have for these misadventures. Back to Skamos.
Hi.
So it was absolutely aggravating once your comprehend languages skill wore off because you were just sitting there tapping.
That lasts an hour.
It lasts an hour. Okay, you have more than enough time, but it's honestly giving you a headache the more you push through it because you need to give it time to process. And after doing so, you're 10 minutes in, and this man is this dwarf is just flipping through the book, and it looks like he's not even paying attention to it. He's just going page by page, glancing at each one, until finally he stops halfway through. He says, I think we're in the list of trades that we need to be in.
Book automatically shuts and finds itself into an inside pocket, and Skamos is at his side.
You see the dwarf reach for a small rectangular wooden case as he unclasps it, flips it open, and pulls out a set of reading glasses. He fixes them just quite squarely on his very wide and bulbous nose. And he says, let's see. What did you say it was?
A cittern of high quality with initials carved into its side.
That'll help. All right.
Was it 7?
No marred stringed instrument. That would likely be... yes, price-wise that would be around here. Okay. Well, I think a certain... Yes. Certain Bodwin tried to sell it, but as it was marred, we couldn't really trade it off as a collectible item. You know, those exotics are only really good in mint condition around these parts. Nobody's willing to throw the coin needed for something that rare around these parts. I believe he said he was going towards Longbrook. Yes, I believe that's the case. Yes. He paid an information fee, and we let him know that there was actually going to be a collection of our merchants over in Longbrook. They're bound for the trade cities, where something like that might actually fetch a price.
Skamos is just staring at the man with a mixture of pure glee and absolute rage in his eyes.
Smiling way too hard.
Yeah. Like to the point where you can tell it's starting to hurt.
Are you okay?
What did you say his name was again?
His name was Bodwin.
Bodwin.
Yes, he paid a 15 silver information fee, and we let him know where he'd be best off trading it, which was in Longbrook.
How long
Always
ago
a
was
fucking
this?
Bodwin.
This was no more than, I believe, checking the dates. 3 days ago. No more than 3 days ago.
That's a story.
Did he have a horse?
No, but he was traveling with a caravan. He had quite a bit of copper on him. I believe that's how he was paying his fare. He seemed to be running low on gold, not that I was looking into his pockets too much. He gives you a little bit of a wry smile.
Skamos grits his teeth for like a solid second, just...
Are you sure you're okay?
Peachy keen.
Ah,
I'm gonna pull a gold coin and flip it, and before it hits my palm, it just vanishes in his hand. Thank you.
appreciate it.
You have a wonderful day.
You too.
Oh, in 3 episodes we get to see Skamos skin a man.
And I'm gonna do it with this violin bow.
Oh.
That's gonna need a lot of tuning.
I'm gonna flay this man alive.
You might also need a spare.
You know, you have a drow friend. I might know a few ancestral techniques.
It seems
A lot
that-
of them involve poisons.
It seems.
I mean,
Swig's
there is
knows
always
about-
pouring spiders down his throat.
That's terrifying.
So, Skamos, like, just pulls out the little notebook. Pod.
That's more than
Win.
you would know.
You don't know how to spell it.
I have 11 intelligence. Actually, 12 intelligence.
You have a good idea of how to spell it. You only know Infernal and Common.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Slowly turn. What did he look like? Human? Half elf? Horns?
One of those elphaboos. The human dressed up like an elf.
Alphaboos! Uishibi!
That is a term Skamos has never heard before. It is half intrigued, half kind of mortified.
Oh, I hate that we always like play up elves as Asian for some reason.
I mean, they're not Asian, it's just everybody wants to be them.
The
I'm not gonna
Elphaboo.
say anything.
I have to write that down now.
I'm sorry.
Bodwin the Alphaboo
write that down.
Has my sit.
Oh! He starts snapping his fingers, clicking his tongue a bit. I believe, yes, he was a sordid sight to look at. He had a singular scar, one eye, real mischievous looking. Couldn't miss it. Unless, you
right
missed
down the road.
it. Right down the road.
I toss him another silver.
Oh, thank you. I believe he
Always
was also wearing red shoes.
Sound more like Dory.
He's just trying to get more money at you, at this point.
You can roll insight.
Your wisdom's so low.
That's a 9.
He's making shit up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was the scar legit?
Yes, as far as you can tell.
Okay.
As far as you can tell.
Which is about this fucking bar.
Which is about as far as I can throw you in real life.
Fair, I can't throw nobody, except maybe a toddler.
I got skinny arms, man.
Thank you for your time. I have to go purchase some things. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Might I
not as
suggest
much
caltrops?
anymore,
What's that?
Might I suggest caltrops? We have
but
them
caltrops.
by the bag. So if
That's
he gets
painful.
bored.
To make sure he doesn't get away.
Yes, sure, that.
What might you get to skin and
Or,
deer?
Tyler, you could buy a man catcher.
I wouldn't know how to use it.
Do you know how to use a spear?
As a man, I don't think man catchers are simple weapons.
No.
That's when I got.
But
some.
is it worth it to see him in a man catcher?
Oh no. When I find him, it will be a much more
It would be Marshall.
intimate.
Man catcher is considered exotic, yeah.
Just hand it
I
to
think-
Mara.
Is it,
Need
is
you to
it
use
exotic in Pathfinder?
I'm not sure if it's actually statted in 5th edition, but I think that in Pathfinder
I'm
it's
asking
one of the
Pathfinder.
exotic weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pathfinder was an exotic weapon.
Okay.
I'm sad there's not anything like that in 5e anymore.
I mean, I could stat that up. That's not.
I mean,
too
I've
bad.
seen
Do
some D&D podcasts where they'll like put like homebrews that they've designed onto their Patreon as like a thing for their patrons.
I mean, if we can make it look legit.
yeah, there's like programs and stuff. for that.
Anyway, yeah. So Skamos walks away from the merchant and just says, under his breath, Bodwin has my cittern. And I walk off to go purchase some things.
Don't forget to collect our fucking money.
Yeah, that too. That too. I need to do
Money.
that.
Money.
All right. So
You didn't almost die to not get paid.
yeah. So I'll just list off what I need to buy. I wanted to get some actual cooking supplies because I
All right.
don't
so,
think any of us.
cooking kit.
Yeah, a cooking kit.
A mess kit.
Peppers.
Oh.
I
was
believe
gonna
that's
buy
a mess
food
kit.
next.
Oh.
Food or like seasonings?
Both.
Yeah, both.
I imagine there would be like salt and pepper with the cooking kit. Maybe.
Mess kit?
I don't know.
Yeah, generally, it should come with a salt rock if nothing else.
But yeah, I wanted to buy a cooking kit, some food that wasn't rations.
Got it.
I
No
can
more
totally-
than like 3 or 4 days worth. 4 days
I can
so
totally.
Is for yourself or the party?
party.
Okay.
So 5 people.
Yeah, that's gonna run you something like.
There is.
How much is the cooking kit normally? I know that has a price.
Yeah, there's a.
It's
There's
in
lists for-
it's in the PHB. I can totally see Skamos trying to purchase okra at like 9 at night.
I need sage, damn it. Sage!
Well, it's not too late yet.
My squash soup will be ruined.
No, it's only getting to be about 8 at this point.
That is entirely because it's Tyler's character.
Cook's utensils, 1 GP.
Foodies, man. I would never understand them.
I just wanted to check one other thing.
Saffron is 50 gold. Even in an imaginary world, I'm getting gold for saffron.
Yeah.
And like modest meals per day is like 3 silver pieces a person.
So you're going to be dropping pretty much a gold.
And
Yeah, you're dropping a gold for each day's rations.
okay, so 5 gold total.
Yeah, and that'll get you covered. That'll also get you a small set of seasonings. So you'll have actual like pepper flakes.
Because we need more spicy food.
Yes. You need the basics of spicy. You guys were already in like level 2 spicy, or 3 even. Aside from that, you get a few herbs. So
Very nice.
flavor-wise, that's what you got on your palate.
And the one other thing I wanted to buy before making my way back to the inn was, is there a place here that sells candy?
Yeah. One of the merchants is actually peddling in a fairly small and rickety-looking wagon. He's got all sorts of hard sweets. You assume he would have more, but he wouldn't put those on display.
I saunter up to him, having calmed down a little bit.
You see he's missing several teeth. His face looks a little dirty, but his hands are clean and his wares look good.
Do you have
Very much a
anything?
man who takes care of
Do
his
you have
business
anything
before
a little
himself.
more interesting than the hard sweets?
Absolutely.
May I
What
see?
do you need?
What do you have? What do you have?
Well, I've got hard sweets, soft sweets, in between sweets, and I have a few strong sweets.
Let's go with strong sweets.
All right. Well, I have these fancy little things here.
And he pulls up a small, like, pot. No more than 5 inches tall. About 3 inches wide at its widest. It's more like a tiny vase. And as he pulls the lid off, you actually see what to you might look like pasta, but it's covered in this white powder.
Tasty.
Oh, is that
Sour ropes.
like the dragon's beard?
Yeah.
That stuff's awesome. I've never had.
Well, I've
it,
got
like-
this stuff. It's pretty exotic, keeps well. But I think you might need to add a little bit of, oh, I don't know. I forgot! Shit.
That was a lost sale for Skamos.
It's good stuff, though. I got it all the way from the Gold Coast.
Do you have candied apples?
Candied apples,
Those are a little more
I
perishable.
could make a candied apple if you'd like.
Could I get 4?
Sure. We'll go ahead and call it, well, I've got extra toffee. 2 silver apiece.
Alright, I'll
Alright,
take.
you said 4?
Yeah, 4 candied
Oh,
apples and a little bag of the hard sweets.
Oh, lovely. Alright, that'll be another 8 copper. I'm assuming you wanted the large bag. You're feeding 4, yes?
Oh no, a small bag for the,
Oh,
of the,
okay.
the hard
Okay.
sweets.
That is my bad. That'll be 3 copper. And the 2 silver per apple. Those apples will be ready in just a few minutes.
So that's
You see him start up a small fire as he sets a pot back to simmer, throws in a few hardened candies, douses them in water, and then slowly coats each of the apples.
This is pretty torturous in real life because I'm friggin' hungry.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Fine with pheasants and candy apples.
You sure you don't want any fries?
I'm fine. For reference to
So
giant
as
Tupperware
he
fries
readies
here.
each of these, he gives a
Those were going
small
to be nacho fries,
cloth
but you guys showed up
for
unannounced.
each. Yeah. And as he hands you each of these, you see they're glistening with this vibrant brown molasses, but they have flakes of this white stuff in them.
Thank you so much. You have a good day.
You too.
And
Have a
I
wonderful day.
head back to the inn.
What a nice
Ta-ta.
man.
Bye-bye!
Oh, so many pleasantries.
Say love you.
Life
Bye.
goes as This is custom and doll hall. They can't be the last one to say goodbye.
I say goodbye in Infernal.
And how's that to you too?
What am I?
How dare you? And I walk away.
How do you?
Damn this man, he's good.
Now that you actually walked away from him, you're not sure if he's totally right in the head.
Oh no, he definitely was. He makes candy.
He's got that Wonka syndrome.
Definitely.
Alright.
But I head to the inn and
Yeah.
see no one.
There's a good number of patrons at the bar at this point. Mostly sticking to their own tables. There haven't been enough people crowding in yet to get anybody to rub elbows. But your party is not apparent at the bar.
I'll just head up to the barkeep and say, I'm sorry. Are my companions upstairs?
Yeah. They're up there.
Thank you. I head upstairs.
You go up. You know of the rooms that were put aside for you lot. You don't know which one they're in. There were 2 of them.
I'll go to the closest one and knock.
Alright, you're having a hard time because you're carrying 4 candied apples on sticks and an assortment of
I
sweets.
kick it. Just little
Just tap, tap, tap.
toe taps.
Yeah.
Did you get the right door?
He doesn't, or he does. Either way, a door opens. Because anybody in this hall can hear it.
I'm going to have Swigs hide behind the door, and then I'm going to crack it open and take a look down the hall.
Alright, Swigs grabs a fistful of meat and darts behind the door. In a
Creepy
very,
looking.
slovenly manner.
Christ.
She overate a lot.
Who loved that meme?
There you see Skamos holding 4 candied apples.
Okay. And it just opens the door,
Step inside.
closes the door, locks the door.
As soon as you close and lock the door, you can see Swigs with, the lump of meat in her hand standing up, and she just... What's that?
Oh, Christ, it's a gremlin.
Oh, Swigs!
Hi.
Hey,
Can I have one?
yeah, this one's for
And
you.
she's just got a hand up before you can even start offering it. And she reaches at the closest one. She's, trying to understand it, just smelling it, and then she starts licking it, and then she can't stop.
That'll keep her quiet for an hour or 2.
She still has the clump of meat in her other hand.
Christ.
These are for you guys.
She's just
Thank
sort of
you.
sitting on the ground and just takes it.
I go and I have my damned supper, and then I have the little dessert bit that he gave me.
Alright. Candied apples are actually really nice. You don't know what it is, but there's some sort of very sweet, that white flaky stuff that has to have come off of some peppered confection, because every time you get one of those little flakes, it gets really spicy for a second and then almost salty.
Huh.
And then it goes back to the rich molasses.
Oh,
A man on the street makes a good candied apple. A crazy old coot, but he makes a good candied apple.
right down the road.
Right down the road.
Can't miss it.
You guys
What?
really love that video.
Yes, it's so good.
Quality meme.
It's a slew of quality memes.
It
But let's
is.
keep going.
As everyone in the room is enjoying their candied apples with a peculiar mix of flavors, you hear a knock on the door. Just a...
I go and I have Swigs hide behind the door.
She never left the spot after she got the apple.
Alright, I crack the door.
Alright, and you see the man in rags. He's just holding a book to his chest, and it's just... I was wondering if everything was alright. I hadn't heard or seen anyone in some time.
Oh, Ben. And I toss him the little bag of hard candy.
Much appreciated, Skamos.
Oh, you're welcome. Even though you did kind of run off on us, you unintentionally made us go and do a good thing. And that means candy. So,
Funny how that works. Again, my apologies.
I've laid into him plenty about it.
Will I be the only one?
Did you collect
in-
payment?
Pardon. Will I be the only one in the other room?
No, this one is my room. It's just gonna be me in here.
I believe we each have our own.
Yes.
Ah, all right. Well then, let me go to my room.
Be sure to wake you in the morning.
Thank you again for this gift.
You're welcome.
And he hobbles over and returns to his room, assured that his bodyguards have not been taken out in the middle of the night.
Skamos just sits on the floor until he finishes his apple.
It takes Swigs a little while, but after she sees you actually bite it, she tries to do the same, but unfortunately her mouth is a little small for the apple.
Little bites.
She keeps, like, skinning it with her little razor-like teeth.
That'll work. That'll work. Give it time.
It doesn't take long after that, though.
Hey,
We need to watch that one.
who will she
I-
be staying with?
She's staying with me.
Okay.
For better or for worse, I'll be the one looking after her. I'm not going to put that on all of you at all times.
Then I'll make sure everyone downstairs is distracted. Skamos stands up, dusts off his pants.
Well, we're
I've
going
had-
to bed.
Oh, it's the...
What time is it?
It's getting closer to the later hours of the evening.
Well, I've had my candy. I must play.
All right.
Corey would have wanted it that way, as he leaves to his room.
Ready in the morning, and Mara sort of gets up, dusts herself off, and heads out.
As everybody's prepping
As
themselves.
Mara heads out, I hand her her plate.
Oh.
It's a mess. As everybody was prepping themselves, Swigs stands up next to Val and places the hand with the chunk of meat that isn't occupied with the candied apple that currently has her attention. And with that chunk of meat in her hand, she presses up to where she would normally be grabbing at Val's robes,
Ah!
and then just sees that it's not working, so she just quickly scampers over and drops her hunk of meat on the plate, and then comes back to Val and grabs Val's robe.
Going to
There's
have
a lot
to
of
wash
oil and
that.
grease on that hand.
Oh. All right.
Right. Just continuing out. Hiding horror. Not even soldiers eat like that.
Alright. And so, with the first calm night, and I think this entire journey, Skamos fulfills his duties as a bard, earning more than the favor necessary for his stay. Val watches over the ever-voracious and Q Swigs, and Mara contemplates her life choices that led to this moment.
Oh, that's dark.
I just realized I don't have my bar of soap anymore.
You don't. You lost that when Swigs left it back at the pool.
We can buy more in the morning, and you'll get to hear all about that next time on C&E.
Woo!
Next time on
Freeze.
C&E, Freeze and Defeated.
God damn it!
They came back! We didn't have enough time to train! Quick, fire the montage!
Oh,
Save
man.
me, Mr. Bow Bow!
Alright, I think that stays.
You're welcome.